Hi, aligned souls. Welcome to the Soul Revival podcast, where we have meaningful conversations to help you explore tools and healing methods that help you return to your soul self. Join us as we help you merge the ethereal and the material worlds, allowing you to live your most fulfilling and aligned life. I'm Lindsay Stanton, author, somatic practitioner, intuitive Reiki master, and grief coach.
Hello, I am Autumn, a believer in miracles, intuitive guide, and psychic medium. We're your hosts and guides. We don't just talk healing, we live it. This is where soul meets strategy, spirit meets structure, and our highest selves take the mic.
Welcome back to the Soul Revival podcast. I'm Lindsay Stanton and I'm joined by Autumn Grimes, and we are so excited for today's topic. It's something that's very near and dear to both of our hearts, and definitely a topic that I feel like we've naturally teed up, if you will, because we've had so many guests on today we're going to be talking about mediumship.
You'll want to stay tuned throughout the entire podcast for a special announcement all about angel signs.
And the hows, the whys, the the whens around how you should know when it's aligned to get a medium. Autumn and I's lived experiences with mediums. Obviously, Autumn is a medium, but I think this is such an important topic for so many reasons. Like, there's so much curiosity around mediumship. I think so many people want to know about it, want to know resources for hiring a good medium. They want to understand when would be good to hire a medium, and I think our lived experiences will help shed some light on the whys of a medium. And I would say, like, I'll just gonna kick off by saying that even if you are a medium, you still can use a medium. So
I love that you just said that, Lindsay. Absolutely. Every medium can use a medium because I feel in my heart that each soul here holds a key, and that key unlocks a deeper meaning in the next person that it's serving. And mediums are, that bridge between the physical and the spiritual realms, and it's tapping in and seeing people's higher selves or just different versions of them that they may not have the clarity on in that moment. But Lindsay, I know you have amazing stories around mediums with Roger and all of the good things. So I'll let you go ahead and kick off and then
yeah.
with all of
And
your stories.
thanks for letting me kick off, because actually the introductory conversation led to a memory of mine about a specific mediumship experience that I've had. And I think it's validation of the comment of even mediums need mediums. Because I've had so many, I mean, or even early days, like, so Roger passed away. It'll be, it's been over 4 years now. And I remember relatively early on my journey, I'd say within the first year, I'd had a couple medium experiences, and my first mediumship experience was with Joe Perreta, who's been a guest on the show and is amazing. We love Joe. We love Joe for so many reasons. But and then after not long, I think not too long after Joe, maybe within 6 months of my reading with Joe, I had a reading with Amy Utsman, who is also amazing, also a certified medium through Forever Family Foundation, and just a totally beautiful soul. And it was so funny because throughout the reading, and I just feel like this is such a validation, if you're intuitive, if you're psychic, if you're a medium, that just go, if you feel inclined to have a reading from somebody outside yourself, like, just do it, because I think sometimes we can be too close to a situation, and I can share multiple examples of this, and from different vantage points when it comes to loss, and also when it comes to, like, just positive signs and wanting that icing on the cake, which is really what I have used mediums for, just that additional layer of hell yes validation. Yes, everything you're getting is accurate, because it was so funny when I had the reading with Amy. she so many times during the reading said to me, because she was pulling through Roger's energy so strongly, and she kept commenting how much she loved him. And actually the reading went over because she was just very much enjoying our energies together. But I remember her saying to me so many times throughout the reading, like when she would mention things that Roger was bringing up, like she could tell by my face because I'm very expressive, obviously, but that I already knew it. And she's like, and I would like, sometimes I would kind of finish what she was saying or whatever. And she'd be like, why am I here? Why am I here? But the reason why she was there is, well, number one, we were obviously meant to connect with each other. That's just like, as soon as I met her, I knew our energies were meant to be in the same orbit. And she's an amazing cheerleader for any spiritual healers, legitimate spiritual healers in the space. But I just having that additional layer of, because she was piecing together and showing me things that I'd been getting through signs, things I'd been getting through dream visits, things I had a deep, just intuitive knowingness of. And so it was just like, yes, yes, yes. And sometimes you just need that yes, yes, yes. And so some readings, like that is the entire purpose. They're not necessarily going to bring through anything earth shattering. They're just confirming for you things that on a deep level you already know. And you do not need to be a medium, an intuitive, or a healer to already have an intuitive sense of something. So you might have a medium just validate things that you felt like you were being guided to. And that can be the entire purpose of the reading. And that's a beautiful thing because when you have that additional layer of validation, it will help you kind of collapse time around those goals that are aligned with your soul's purpose. So that's my first story.
Yes, I love that. And I just want to put some more knowledge and nuggets in there because that's what I've used mediums for. Because I don't know about you, but imposter syndrome is real in this body because it sits there like I get all these downloads, I get all these validations. I mean, angel sign after angel sign after angel sign. I know what they want me to do. But then it's like, well, who am I to do that? Who am I to do that? And then you go see this medium and they bring that through and you're like, oh man, okay, I am the person. I am the person to do this. Let's go. Let's do it. So I love that you said that. In um, where else was I going with that? There's just so much clarity you can get because your intuition is a natural piece of you. You have this natural ability. Everyone does. They may veer off from their intuition from not listening to their hell yeses and hell nos, but they have it in them. And I think that seeing mediums or intuitives can help you understand like what your intuition is versus your egoic mind, because that validation will hit home to you right in your heart chakra, and you're like, okay, I am this being, I am this, soul that's way bigger than my physical body, and a lot of people need that. To jumpstart into collapse their timelines and just really get to their core meaning of this life and world that they're on, their journey.
Which I think that actually directly relates back to like the too close to it thing. Sometimes you're too close to a major decision like you intuitively know what the answer is. You intuitively know the direction that you're meant to go, but your egoic mind creeps in and you're too close to be able to like fully trust in that decision. And especially if it involves like somebody else. So I'll give another example for me. So, for those who are familiar with my story, I had a pup that I lost. It'll be 2 years now in November. He passed away right after Thanksgiving and very young, prematurely, and he had some major, major health issues. And I intuitively I knew the timing and the signs of him like we did. It was an amazing journey. I'm so thankful that I got to help caregive for him. And I know that was part of my soul contract because it very much related to, it was a mirror of many of the things I experienced with Roger. And When it came time to release him from the physical body that was no longer serving him, I knew that he was self-harming, which was part of the disease that he had. And we did I'd had so many Reiki sessions that gave him like a year and a half of life that I did with him that gave him a year and a half of life and healthy, happy life. But there came a time when it was like, okay, if he does it one more time, my intuition told me if he does it one more time, that's him saying that he needs to release himself. And I turned to a medium who I love and trust, who we've also had the pleasure of interviewing on the show, Connie Fuchila, to help guide me with that decision because, and tap into his energy because I certainly can read animals and connect with them telepathically, and certainly do my own animals. But for my own grief process, it was critical for me to get an outside yes, that his energy was telling her that it was time to let him go. And there was so much intentionality around the timing of letting him go, but I needed that. And sometimes with grief or pre grief, that's just going to be the case. Like, I needed that. My soul needed that outside validation of the timing and just confirmation. I already knew it, but I needed that. And I definitely know that it would have made my grief process that more complicated had I not turned to her and had her confirm to me that this was the route. And then there was so much amazing divine timing around reincarnation that came off of that. But I had to trust not only my own intuition, but also that I was meant to have a medium help me with the decision and just confirm the decision.
Yeah, that's such a big life choice. And this is why I always call Lindsay a warrior because I don't know if she realizes how strong she is in moments that are so much bigger than her. And she is so effortless with the decision to do what's right for others and the souls of others, no matter how hard and heavy it can be. So, Lindsay, I just also want to state how much of a warrior you are. And Lindsay is an amazing communicator with animals on the other side or here in the physical realm. So I just want to also state that. And to dive more into this, when grief happens or when a loved one passes, I know from a very young age, I always knew there's something more than this. Earth is here, but there's something more to this. And I may not be able to see it, but I can feel into it. And I think that seeing the mediums and getting validations with a good medium or a high vibrational medium is a reminder that there is so much more to earth and there is this afterlife and there is the other side and your soul is always continuing on. So even though they're not in this, Lindsay likes to call it a meat suit, and it always makes me laugh. So there's more to this meat suit than meets the eye, and I think that mediums validate that, and that can help healing. That can help the healing transformation that comes after that, and the connection through healing, because that always matters. And then it comes to spiritual empowerment.
100%. First of all, thank you. And thank you for making me laugh after you made me cry.
I'm good at that. I'm good at that.
And I would add on to what you just said too, that a really great medium is going to help tap into your higher self, which is going to help you with your aligned purpose and also your divine support team and your guides. So the best medium readings that I've had have at the end, like typically at the end of the reading, we're bringing through powerful information because, especially if you're having a medium reading related to grief, um, there is ultimately, and this is what led me to do the work that I'm doing now, and the community that Autumn and I have to serve people that have gone through grief and trauma. Because when we go through these experiences, as hard as it can be to say that this is the case, there is a why. There is a why behind why we have experienced this very, very heavy, hard thing, whether it's somebody physically transitioning to the other side or trauma that you might have experienced, or both in conjunction with each other. And a really great medium reading is going to pull through the people that you're wanting to hear from, that you're hoping to hear from, and also help you tie that reason why they pass when they pass to your soul's purpose. We have an exciting opportunity to share with you.
Did you know each week inside the Soul Revival community, we have a giveaway? One lovely soul is gifted something sacred, a Reiki session, an intuitive reading, a powerful course, or even access into the community itself. This isn't just a giveaway. It's a soul blessing, a moment where healing meets divine timing. You'll feel the shift, you'll see the signs, and you'll know you're not alone anymore. Say yes to your intuition, your healing, your next chapter. Enter now at the link below in the show notes labeled Soul Revival Giveaway for your chance to win.
Let's get back to today's episode.
So when they pull through your guides, in addition to your loved ones on the other side, that can really like just bring everything full picture for you so that you can understand the timing of the person passing or the animal passing, like what happened to me, or even how it relates directly to your calling here in this incarnation.
I love that you state that because with my etopics, I think we stated this in the first episode. So if you don't know my story, I've had 3 etopic pregnancies, and through the grief, I knew that my heart was being cracked wide open. But I believe the why in the 3 etopics was because I was told I would never be able to carry a child, and we are the co-creators of our realities. And I did not attach to that belief. I overcame that belief. I trusted in the afterlife. I trusted in the other side. And I am a walking story of how co-creating can bring through what you want in this world. No matter what someone says or places upon you, we have the ability to heal ourselves from the inside out. Our cells are constantly vibrating at a frequency. And if we operate at the frequency of the highest good, we can heal any trauma, any physical pain. We can carry a child. I gave birth to an 8-pound, 5-ounce baby at 36 weeks with my uterus being split and having surgery on my uterus. So there's so much more out there when we are connecting to the other side and trusting in the information we are getting and using our intuition and our gut feelings to know that we are so much bigger than meets the eye.
Yeah, absolutely. And tapping into that energy of magic and miracles, which you can start to get a glimmer of when you have a really great medium reading. And I don't know about you, but when I've had medium readings, like I'm like buzzing. Like, I mean, I'm just on like a whole nother level of vibration, which also then invites in communication with the other side. So it has like this beautiful impact where you're going to get more direct communication as a result of tapping into that higher vibrational state through the medium too. So typically I crash that night, but afterwards I'm like in such a crazy high vibration after I get that validation and just feel that love and connection surrounding me.
I love that you say. So in my sessions, in my mediumship sessions, I always recommend that my client drinks lots of water before because water is the conduit. It will hold that yummy vibration and the crash won't be so intense if you drink water. I believe that in my mediumship readings, that's exactly what comes through. I bring through their loved ones and then solid validation. So for instance, one story is I was doing a chakra clearing on a woman, and in the solar plexus chakra, which is where the inner child lives, I kept hearing her dad telling me, mention eggplants. Mention an eggplant, mention an eggplant. And I'm like, what? That's so random. But, it doesn't make sense to me. I'm gonna say it. So I mentioned, why does your dad keep bringing up eggplants when I'm like in your solar plexus chakra? And she's like, oh, Autumn. She just starts bawling her eyes out at first, but then she starts laughing. And she's like, we had a garden and my dad planted eggplants, but that was like the only thing that would grow and it grew in abundance. So every night for dinner, we would have to eat these eggplants. And she's like, even if they made us sick, we would still have to eat them. So, through that validation, it really anchored her into, wow, this is happening. And I have so many stories like that. And I think that it really opens people's minds up to, oh my goodness, there is so much more, and they are with me. And that's the thing. Our eyes can only see so much of this world, and the other side is right here on Earth. You have the ability to open your mind enough to bring the other side here on Earth if your free will allows it. And they will guide you. They will be knocking down your doors, knocking on your doors. They are, they'll keep your private moments private, but they will definitely guide you and remind you of who you are and which way to go, as long as you're open to receiving it. And your free will is a huge part of that. Our free will is what makes us human, right? Like time and free will is intertwined together. But I love my mediumship readings because even though my client, I'm giving them to clients after I am high vibrational. I am buzzing, just like you were mentioning, receiving on the receiving and the giving side. It's the same energy, and I get clarity through each one of my sessions as well, as much as the other person does. So it's like it's so just magical and layered with miracles. And in that hour session, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say that I've done quite a bit of work to open myself up and some newer things the last few months. And I've been in session with people recently, and like some people might be like, "What are you talking about?" when I say what I'm about to say, but I have literally felt that I was a conduit, a pathway for God energy. And specifically when I've been in sessions with people or animals going through something that required very deep healing, physical healing. I literally felt the vibration of God. And I'm like, again, I'm just a portal. It really has nothing to do with me. I'm just a pathway, but it's just amazing. And you're just in total awe afterwards, just total awe. And so grateful to be given the opportunity to have that role, to be able to have that role is such a gift, such a gift. Um,
Getting raw with it, Lindsay. I love your honesty because when Lindsay and I first started kind of getting this community together, I was shown in my visual sense that Lindsay holds like this key to unlock the Christ consciousness. So it only makes sense that you channel that God's energy to heal others. And I love that you're being so raw with it, because I'm like, yes, this is what people need to talk about more. This is what people need to talk about more, because it's a state of enlightenment. And each being has a way to that enlightenment, but it takes a lot of inner work. It takes a lot of inner work, belief, and trust, and honesty. You have to be honest with yourself. So I love that you mentioned that. And Lindsay does hold that key to Christ consciousness. It is just such a high vibrational, or God's energy, whatever you want to call it. There's so many different words to it, but I love that you just said that, Lindsay.
Thank you. Thank you. I know personally, I feel like it would be really helpful to give some tips to people on how to go about securing a medium, like what they should bring to the table when they go into a mediumship reading. And the one thing I would just mention is because oftentimes when you're getting a medium reading, like you have something specific that you want to accomplish, or someone or someones that you want to connect with. So the one thing I would suggest is being really intentional about your thoughts and your mental space and even your environment ahead of getting a reading. So I like to recommend to people to invite in the loved ones that they want to hear from. And it can be very beneficial to have a conversation. I mean, I'm constantly talking to Roger in my head, but that's a good example, I think, of having a conversation with the person or people that you're hoping to hear from ahead of the reading, and talking to them and inviting them in, because we do have free will. And I really feel like that it helps open the pathway a little easier for that loved one to communicate with the medium.
Are you seeing repeating numbers, feathers, or hearing songs at just the right time? Those signs aren't random. They're messages from your angels. Join the Soul Revival August 7th at 7 p.m. Central Time for a powerful live course, Angel Signs. We'll teach you how to receive, decode, and trust in divine guidance. You'll learn how to spot signs from your angels, understand their meanings, and strengthen your connection to the other side. This isn't just a class. It's an activation. And trust me, your angels are already nudging you to say yes. Reserve your spot now. You don't want to miss this. Link below.
Did you know that amazing programs like this are free for members of the Soul Revival community? jump over to the link below and join us today.
Are there things that you would recommend to Autumn?
Lindsay, you're spot on. Being intentional, you don't have to tell the medium your intentions. The medium will pick up on your intentions because the divine will lead them there. Definitely getting intentional, but also being open-minded. So you
Yes.
might think, hey, it's going to go this way, which it might tap on what you think, but then it goes way deeper. And it's easier to get deep when you're open-minded with the direction of it. I also think, having pieces of jewel, like items that may be theirs, because I think through my readings, it's very validating if I'm picking up on the item that you're holding from the loved one on the other side. But all mediums are different, and each reading is going to be different. And I think that that's the key we were talking about earlier. That's the magic of it. So I think different mediums. But really knowing that you're going to a legit medium is very important. I know Forever Family does certifications, which I'm really excited about. We'll drop some news, but Forever Family has certifications. Lindsay, how do you find good mediums?
I mean, obviously, I would go to you, but between you and Forever Family, like that's the route that I would go 100%.
Yeah, and then I also think having a clear space. So, you know,
Yes.
like actually in your like the room that you're in, having a clear space. Don't have it cluttered. Energy is expansive, and if it's bouncing off things that are cluttered in the room, it's really hard, or it's not hard. It just makes it a little bit more complicated to get the clear flowing energy.
And on that same point, don't be distracted. Make sure you have a dedicated, quiet space where you can be fully engaged. It is so important. You're basically calling in a conversation with a loved one, so give it the reverence it deserves. So I would definitely recommend that. And I would also say this is kind of a twofold point, but pay attention to all the details because frequently mediums will give you signs from your loved one in the context of explaining something to you. So they don't even realize that it's a sign. So pay attention to the stories and the framework that mediums use to share something with you from your loved one on the other side, because there's oftentimes signs and keys in the way that they're sharing it with you. And also don't dismiss anything because oftentimes things will come up in a mediumship reading. There might be a story or a job that a loved one had, or a relationship, a friendship, whatever it might be, something that they owned that doesn't resonate with you. But when you go back and talk to your family, do the research, it's true. So don't dismiss things as they hear, and also I would say in addition to that, the other side loves to give things in like through symbolism. So a boat might represent a trip that you took to the ocean together. So just be open in regards to that too, and don't dismiss when you hear something that if you took it textbook doesn't fit. But oftentimes when you come back and marinate on it, you'll come up with a clear reason why they shared that with you. And because of that, I always recommend, if the medium will allow you to record the session, because going back and listening to again, you always pick up on things that you didn't catch the first time, always.
And I think that might be a red flag. If a medium is not open to recording the session, I mean, I don't know. I'm completely open to recording the session. I think that it should be recorded because exactly what you just stated. There's so much future sense in the present moment as well, because time doesn't really exist on the other side. So record and then go back. But also, mediums create a sacred space. It's sacred. It's meant to be full of love. So I think, coming with an open mind and not so much clutter is a way to keep that sacred space more sacred. Um, and yeah, I just have one more story if before we close out really quick, because this came to me when you said family. So, my fiance's family they were like, because I just tapped into my mediumship probably in 2018 actually. So 7 years ago now. Oh my gosh, that feels so long ago. And they're like, Autumn, are you sure like this is your route? Are you sure this is what you want to do? And so I knew that his mom was going to be questioning me. She wanted to take me out to lunch one day, and I knew she was going to be questioning me. So I'm like, okay, I got to be prepared. I got to be on my A game. Mind you, Spirit always has you on your A game, but that's your egoic mind that comes in every once in a while. And so I'm sitting there and I'm eating lunch with her, and she's like, so Autumn, like, you say you're this, but she's like, do you have any messages from my loved ones on the other side? And I'm like, I knew you were going to ask me this. Must be psychic, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, your grandmother's coming through, but I'm like, I've been in this family for quite some time, so I had to find, she had to bring something through to me that I wouldn't know,
So,
right? Because there's so much I already know.
right.
And so I'm sitting there and she's eating her food, and I'm like, she's showing me awards, like trophies. I'm like, so what is it with these trophies and awards? And she about spit out her food. She couldn't believe it. She's like, Autumn, nobody knows this. She's like, you would not know this. Mark doesn't know this. Mark is my fiance. She's like, my grandmother used to make awards. She would make the trophies for sports teams. And she's like, there is no one that would know that. So that's the kind of validation, if you set your intention, that you should receive, or similar to that, um, when the timing is right, or when you're open-minded and open to receiving. Because I think that she was just so naive. She was automatically open to it.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to see the transition and just the faith in her eyes after that moment, because she could not believe her ears.
I absolutely love that. And I feel like also a really great medium is going to bring through things from the past and the present. So I remember when I had that initial reading with Joe, for example, Roger brought up through Joe that I had changed outfits multiple times before the reading. Because to me, it was like I was having a date with Roger. Like I knew he was gonna channel Roger. So like to me, it was like I was like getting ready, like I would have gotten ready to go on a date with Roger. And so Joe brought that up. He's like, "Did you like change clothes multiple
Ah,
times?" Like
Joe. I
showing me
love
this, and I
Joe.
was like, "Yep."
But that's a way to make it sacred, right? That's a
Yes.
way to make it a sacred space. So I love that you brought that up, Joe. I love Joe. Joe is amazing. So I just wanted to emphasize that, because Lindsay said it in the beginning, and while we're closing out, I just want to put that out there again one
Yeah.
more time.
We love you, Joe.
We'll have to send him this episode.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, so if you have, we'll link some links in the show notes below on how to find a good medium. If you have any questions, please, reach out to us, DM us. I would love to guide you in the right direction when it comes to mediums. If you don't feel called to me, there's no harm in that. I don't blame you, but I would love if you had a session with me or whoever feels called, because some mediums won't resonate with some, and it's very important to find ones that resonate with you, and not just because everyone's talking about them. I think that that's a big uh, point
Yeah.
as well.
It has to be an energetic match for sure. And I feel like even just looking at somebody's photo, you can kind of tell. I mean, I knew not to keep saying Joe's name, but I knew as soon as he came on the Zoom, I was like, oh yeah, Roger's going to come through so easy because I knew his energy would resonate with Roger and it resonated with me. So I knew it was going to be like a very simple pathway. So I think like just getting a vibe, and I feel like you really can do that even by a photo of somebody, you can feel their energy. And I think that's like such a good point to end on, is that, pick somebody who you feel like would resonate with your energy and your loved one on the other side. Because I do think even though any medium should be able to probably bring through your loved one, I do think that it just makes it an easier pathway for your loved one on the other side. Because remember, they have to kind of lower their vibrational energy to do this communication, and then the medium has to raise their vibrational energy, and ideally you're raising your vibrational energy as the sitter or the listener as well. So it just makes that an easier pathway when everybody is in sync and your energies are vibing really well together.
What a beautiful episode, Lindsay. I love this. I hope all the listeners get some information, some juicy details on this episode, and we will see you back next week for another one.
Absolutely. And I'm just going to say one final thing, that to Autumn's point, feel free to reach out to either one of us, because obviously we've been on both sides of it and have had a lot of different experiences. So happy to share kind of the do's and don'ts and things that might be really great tips for you, especially if you're early days on your grief journey.
I love that. Lindsay's always an open book too. She's great. So we'll see you back next week.
Bye.
If today's words stirred something in you, that's no coincidence. Your soul is speaking and it's ready to be heard. If you resonated with today's episode, Spirit is cheering you on, encouraging you. Start choosing yourself again. Start saying yes to your healing and join our sacred community over at www.thesoulrevival.com.
Because healing is better when we do it together. If you love this episode, be sure to hit follow, leave a review, and share this with someone who's ready to return to their soul self. Thank you, Aligned Souls.